Daniel had always been drawn to abandoned houses. He told his friends it was for the thrill, but deep down, he wanted to prove that ghosts didn't exist. When he heard about Blackwood Manor, a mansion sealed for decades due to unexplained occurrences, he knew he had to explore it. The house stood at the edge of town, hidden behind thick, gnarled trees. The townspeople avoided it, whispering about those who had entered and never returned. Daniel laughed off their warnings. On a cold, foggy night, he arrived at the manor. The iron gates groaned as he pushed them open, the rust flaking off like dead skin. The house loomed before him, its windows like hollow eyes staring into the darkness. With a deep breath, he stepped inside. The air was thick with dust and decay. The wooden floors groaned under his weight. His flashlight's beam cut through the darkness, revealing broken furniture and faded wallpaper peeling like rotting flesh. Then he heard it. A whisper, soft, almost imperceptible, like a breath against his ear. "Daniel, you finally came." His breath hitched. His flashlight flickered. The whisper had come from upstairs. He told himself it was the wind, but deep inside, he knew better. Every instinct screamed at him to leave, but he had come too far. The grand staircase stretched before him, its steps warped with age. He climbed, gripping the railing as he reached the second floor. The whispering grew louder. "Come inside. We've been waiting." A door at the end of the hallway stood slightly ajar. The air around it was unnaturally cold. He stepped forward, hand trembling as he pushed it open. Inside, the room was dark, but his flashlight illuminated the walls, covered in claw marks, deep scratches as if something had tried to escape. And then he saw them. Figures, twisted, shadowy, barely human, crawling along the walls and ceiling. Their hollow eyes glowed red, their mouths stretched into unnatural grins. Daniel wanted to run, but his body wouldn't move. The whisper came again, now right beside his ear. "One of us. One of us." A sudden force slammed the door behind. Him. The flashlight flickered violently, casting erratic shadows across the room. Then the figures began to move toward him. Their bones cracked with every unnatural twitch. Their fingers, long and clawed, scraped against the floor. Daniel stumbled backward, his breath ragged. His heart pounded as the whispers turned into a chorus of voices. "Stay with us. Join us." He lunged for the door, yanking at the handle. It wouldn't budge. The figures closed in, their grins widening, their eyes burning into his soul. Then, everything went dark. Morning came. The townspeople, hearing screams in the night, gathered outside Blackwood Manor. The gates were ajar, the front door slightly open. A few brave souls entered, calling Daniel's name. They found his flashlight, flickering on the floor of an empty room, but Daniel was nowhere to be found. The claw marks on the walls were deeper than before. And, if one listened closely, the whispers still echoed in the darkness, waiting for the next visitor.